Hello, YouTube fans. This is TheSkullKlown here to review Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, I recently watched it yesterday, obviously, so let's get started with my thoughts. But for one moment, real quick. Okay, so this movie starts literally Superman dying, as what we saw in Batman vs Superman when he was fighting Doomsday, and the echo of Superman eventually awakens these three cubes that you see in the original Justice League movie. So you know how it got the crack and everything like that. My friend even told me he always wanted to know where that crack came from. Well, they show you it in this one. Obviously, everyone in the whole world literally hears Superman's voice and scream, and then when that happens, the boxes get activated, and send a signal basically where Darkseid is basically, and obviously Steppenwolf is one of the reasons why he stepped in where the Amazonians were at, and that shit was epic as all fuck. I thought the opening to this movie was awesome to me, because once the movie literally started, I was like, "Wow, you actually doing, you actually making a movie? What a concept!" you know, uh, but it and sorry if I missed a few things from this movie because I watched it yesterday. Obviously, it was 4 hours long, guys, and then after that, I was tired as all fuck. What a ride that was, and I had to go to sleep after that. My friend was showing me some stuff, but I was just like on my phone like this because I was just tired. I just wanted to go to sleep. A 4 hour epic could drain you, especially when there's some good ass shit. So eventually, you see Bruce going to Aquaman, and Aquaman basically, yeah, he tells him to fuck off, like I said in the original review, basically the original movie review that I did for the original theater of Justice League. But in this one, obviously Bruce, he's like, "Hey, I'll pay you this much money if I see him and shit." And they basically say, Batman's basically saying, Bruce is basically saying, "Oh, I hear this basically like a legend of a, mermaid man, basically, Aquaman, basically, And in the original, they were all like, "Yeah, there's no like legendary fishman and shit." And then the camera shows a mural of Aquaman, and then the people that he feeds with the fish and shit. And I'm just like, you say he's not here, but you have a mirror that Batman just looked at, and I'm just like, and they cut that out. Good. I'm actually happy they cut that out because that shit was dumb as fuck. I told my friend that, and he was like, "Yeah, but it was kind of funny." I'm like, "Yes, but if you're trying to be serious and not a parody, you don't do that shit." Just me. That's just me. That's just me as a fan. Because there's different ways to do that. If you want to have fun, have fun. But like at the same time, really, because at the same time, when Aquaman is talking to Bruce, when Aquaman is about to go to the water, he takes his shirt off and shit. That happens a lot in this. That happens at least one or twice in this movie. And there's one part that he does it in like he just drinks, walk into the freaking the fucking the deck basically, where the water is, where the ocean is, and then it's just that's wire into the movie, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just crazy. But we don't see him go in the water like in the original. You see the woman from the cabin that know Aquaman is there, but they secretly protecting him, obviously. And they sing. And my friend is like, "Oh, now they like make him this mythical creature. I mean, mythical person because he was there and then he disappears. Kind of what Batman does, And in a way, I kind of like that because it shows that yes, they're trying to protect him and stuff, but at the same time, they look at him as like a god, like Superman, like what you see in these Superman movies, So that's pretty cool. I actually like that. And then it made sense when he said that you're crazy, Bruce, because there was some moments when he said that he was crazy Bruce. I'm like, well, yeah, he's crazy, but where did that come from? He's like a man dressed as a bat. You're crazy, Wayne. And then they did took out the part when he was like, I might be crazy, but I'm right. They took that part out, which I'm fine with. There are some parts that we had to sacrifice from the original movie. That was some of the original movie did have some good stuff, but some of it had to be taken out for this one to be a lot better. And in my opinion, there's some stuff from the original that I do like, but this one right here is the perfection of the creme de creme. Basically, it is that good. It's really good. Like, you're telling a fucking story instead of just putting shit on the fucking screen. you know, because in the original you could tell that shit was edited poorly, like just because you were just cutting and cutting and cutting. In this one, it's actually woven into a perfect narrative. Or what a concept. So eventually you get Diana. Diana gets the call from her sisters and shit, mainly because freaking Steppenwolf comes in, freaking all epic and shit, and I love his new look. His original look in the original Justice League theater movie looks terrible. Doesn't look good as it doesn't look good at all, in my opinion. At least the face. And then in this one, he looks pretty good. I like the way he looks. And then you see him freaking killing the Amazonians and shit, freaking killing all these goddesses. And I'm just like, holy shit. Me and my friend are like, oh my God. Like, holy shit. Remember in the other movie, my latest review of Justice League, when I said that, hey, Steppenwolf literally told Wonder Woman, hey, I used this axe to kill your sisters, and she got pissed off. He does say that a little bit, but he doesn't mention the axe. He just says, I killed your sisters and you were nowhere to be found. And that's what Wonder Woman gets pissed off and starts fighting him, like in almost at the end of the movie, But I'm glad they brought that. I'm glad they put that, because I was just like, okay, where was this? Show me this movie. And they did. They actually showed me it. Holy shit, Steppenwolf was like killing all these freaking women and shit and doesn't give a fuck. And me, again, going back, me and my friend were like, what the fuck? Like, just chopping them people in half and shit. Same thing when he was going to the Atlanteans and shit, just chopping them in half, man. That was Steppenwolf, big improvement. Big fucking improvement. And Steppenwolf just wants to, have Darkseid, appreciate him again, because in a way he kind of betrayed him and all that shit. He's like, no, I can fix this, It's you got to give it to Steppenwolf. He tries. He actually tries. And at least in the original, when he's just there as a first boss. This one is almost like the final boss, but it's a second final boss to the final boss, and that is better in my opinion. So after that, we do get a backstory. We do see Cyborg and everything like that. Eventually, we do get a little bit side stories with these characters. A little bit of backstory with the Amazonians and about the 3 boxes and with Cyborg and everything like that. And how's he connected to the boxes too, and freaking with the Atlanteans also, and with Batman and Superman, how they connect to this. It's just all around fucking good. It's just really good. It's a better movie. It's just really fucking good. And the fight scenes are great. Like, not to say the original fight scenes were not good. They were. But you could tell some of the things that were cut. And some of the things that were like, something's missing here. And here, it's everything's here. Everything that you thought didn't make sense, made sense here. Because they did it perfectly. They did it perfectly. And you know how I complain about The Flash? This one, no complaints. No fucking complaints. I thought he did better. The way they did Flash in this was way better than what they did in the theatrical version of Justice League, So, eventually, Diana, Wonder Woman, tells, Bruce that, something's coming and it's already here and stuff. And that's why, obviously, Bruce needs to make a team and everything like that. Eventually, everyone comes, which is great, and then they have to bring back Superman. And in the original, they were debating if they even should do it. But here, they do it, but before they even do it, before it even happens, they're like, should we even do this? Because they get a flashback of what could happen. Even the ship herself, the ship that had Superman in it, basically, Oh, the ship that had Superman's people basically that were in it a long time ago that crashed to Earth. They the machine told Cyborg what could happen in the future, and he was like, no. And then obviously Flash was like, go, and then whoosh, touches the box, pew, and then Superman is born. And it's funny too because you don't get that water effect like you got in the original, which I enjoy with the water effect because that makes more sense too instead of just like you know just dust and particles. I'm like, he came out of water, guys. Water effects. You that lazy? you know? So I'm glad that this movie actually went a little bit further with its details of effects, which I like. I really do. So, because details like that go a long way. They really do. You'd be surprised, fucking surprised, how many just little tiny details from this movie that if you watch the theatrical cut and then this cut, you'd be so fucking baffled of how many cuts, just slightly ones, made a fucking difference for this movie to be better. I mean, for kind of like when you see Wonder Woman the first time, in the original, you see her just standing where with the almost like the Statue of Liberty is, but it's in Metropolis. At first, I didn't know it was Metropolis or Gotham. I was like, is this Metropolis or Gotham? But guess what? It was Metropolis because they showed the Superman logo when they were paying homage to Superman, like his flag and like his S and stuff, so everyone can mourn for him, So when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is Metropolis, and I had to guess it was Metropolis, but I had a guess from the original instead of the movie telling me, or showing me, So when the movie showed me that, I was like, okay, we are Metropolis. I knew it, but in the original, I was just like, how will I know if this is Metropolis or Gotham? Most people are like, well, look at the sky. I mean, if it's grainy, it's Gotham. If it's sunny, it's Metropolis. I'm like, I know, but sometimes it's sunny in Gotham. Sometimes it looks nice. It's still dark, but sometimes it looks that way, But again, I'm glad that they put that. Because again, when I saw the statue and one woman's on top of her arm and shit, I thought that was Gotham, Lady Gotham. That's what I thought. Lady Justice Gotham or some shit. But I know I went a little bit on a tangent with that, but I just want to tell you what's the difference between that, because both of those scenes are really good examples because they extend something that one extends something that needs it and tells the good story, and the other one just drops a few things just to end the movie faster. And I'm just like, you're not telling the story, you just wanted to get to the end, I guess. Just to show the superheroes posing like this, and that's it, So eventually, all the fight scene that you see in the original does happen and everything like that. A few things do change, obviously. Like obviously, the Flash is moving around the whole city and everything like that, and that's pretty cool. And because he has to help Cyborg and everything like that with trying to separate the fucking boxes and shit. And eventually, Superman helps him, but before that, everyone dies. Yeah, the whole explosion happens and shit, and everyone dies, and then the Flash is like, this is my one chance, I have to go back, and he's literally going back and back and back, going to where what is it, going where Cyborg is, because that's where he was supposed to go originally, but he kept going and going and going, and he was like, Cyborg, tell me when, and Cyborg was just trying to make sure the box was separated and shit. So he goes back in time, basically, to save everybody, and you see all the pieces going back together. Even Cyborg, you see his bones and his skin and the all medic parts going side back in him and shit. That shit was dope. It was really cool. And then after that, there is this one part that we see Cyborg's dad, but we don't see him as much in the original. This one we see more of him. Because in the original, like, oh, he's there, and then he's gone, and we don't know what happened to him. We know what happens to him here. He dies. He sacrifices himself. At first, we thought he just killed himself for being an idiot, but no. Cyborg's dad is actually really smart, so he's not that stupid. He wouldn't just kill himself for something stupid. But at first, you thought that. Then they explained it, but like, oh, wait, because Cyborg looked around and stuff, and he saw what his father did, and he was like, oh shit, he heat the core up of this, so to help bring back Superman, basically, I don't know if he knew that they were going to bring back Superman, but I don't know. But remember that one flaw that I said that Aquaman just comes at fucking Gotham Pearl Harbor, and I'm just like, where did he come from? Yeah, that still happens. And I'm just like, but whatever, whatever. I can't just fault of that one theme for the whole movie because the whole movie's still good, you know. So going back, this whole thing at the end with this whole thing when the Flash reverses back time and everything's back to normal, they separate the cubes. Steppenwolf is defeated. You know, some epic fight scenes happen, obviously, and while that has happened, the portal where Darkseid is about to come out is opening, and they're obviously fighting Darkseid and stuff. And why they throw Darkseid, Wonder Woman freaking chops his head off, and then his body and his head goes where Darkseid is, and Darkseid is just stepping on his head and freaking squishing it a bit and stuff. And one of his cronies right next to Darkseid is literally like, I told you Steppenwolf would have failed, and he's like, you did tell me. Now for another plan, you know. And I'm just like, this movie's gonna keep going. Holy shit! It ends. It ends. Which, in a way, I'm kind of disappointed because I'm all like, oh my god, I would love to see Darkseid. But you know what? They're saving that, and you know what? I don't care. Darkseid does deserve to have his own movie. All right, he does. All right, to have him in the cameo here is fine. You know, I can see what this movie was trying to do. You know, prepare you for the next one with Darkseid coming. You know what? That is how you do it, okay? That is how you do it. Especially in the I know I'm jumping through here, but guys, sometimes I have to because there are certain things in this movie that is just really good that connect to other things, you know? Especially with the whole editing process and stuff. Because in the theatrical version, when Wonder Woman first comes and she's like fighting and stuff, it's like slow motion but fast motion. But this one's fast motion, and then when she throws up the briefcase, it's slow motion, and I'm like, that is how you do it. And then all of a sudden, the explosion, and then she falls, and you think, oh, something happened to her, but nothing really did, obviously. And then the guy has like a handgun and shit, and he freaking switches it, freaking a big ass gun, because in the theatrical cut, he just has one minigun, and all of a sudden he has a big gun out of nowhere, and I'm just like, how did he change it? Where did that come from? Maybe it was like that. Maybe they did have that scene in the original, but I can't remember. It's just there's so many scenes in the theatrical version of the Justice League that I just can't remember, mainly because so many things happened that it was just like, oh, okay, that happened, okay, that happened. It wasn't narrative woven like in this one. This one is just perfectly woven, perfectly executed, and pretty good. So at the end, after that, you know, they all standing, posing and stuff, and you know, that's pretty cool and stuff. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Superman gets his black suit. Yes, yes, yes. There was one part when Superman, when Superman was like trying to fight the Justice League a little bit. The part that I wish they kept was when he was going to Bruce and he's like, "You won't let me live, you won't let me die." That was a good ass line, and I'm sad they cut that out. But you know what? There's some sacrifices we just need to do, you know, to make this movie better. But hey, sometimes in the original Justice League, the theatrical version, there's so much things that there's certain things that are just really good that I wish they were in this to make it 10 times better. But hey, you know, that's fine. That's just me. But I still enjoy this one. This one's 10 times better. I highly recommend watching this version than the other version. But if you want to get both versions, I guess, go ahead. I mean, that's up to you. Me, I would just get this version instead. This is the definitive version. Or if Warner Bros. Wanted to, put this version with the theatrical version together if they wanted to. Just for people that want the theatrical version, just for the fuck of it, I guess. Even though people might not want it or don't care for it, it'd be nice if it's there, you know? I don't know. You could think of it as like, this is a paint that's unfinished. It's fine, but still unfinished. This one is complete, and I can see it. Think as the theatrical. Think as the theatrical movie, as a big giant trailer for this movie. You know, just think about that, and you'll be fine, in my opinion. It's just parts that are missing, and they're just showing you the parts that are fighting style. That's really it. But okay, then we get to a scene where Joker and Batman. I fucking love this scene. This scene was perfect. You had freaking this woman from from Atlantis. I forgot her name. She was Aquaman's love interest. I forgot her name though. But she's there. Freaking Slade is there, which I'm like, holy shit. Once I saw Slade, I was like, yo, that shit is awesome. And you saw freaking Lex Luthor, with the bald hair. He doesn't have the long hair anymore. I did criticize the actor that played Lex Luthor in Batman versus Superman and all that. And maybe in Man of Steel, I think he was in Man of Steel. I can't remember. I haven't watched Man of Steel in a long time. But here, I actually felt Lex Luthor. When he was talking, I'm all like, the talking could be, a little bit fixed and a little bit more better. But overall, you have the posture, you have the look, and you sound a little bit like Lex Luthor instead of just that long, crazy hair and acting stupid, in my opinion. But hey, that's a better Lex Luthor than what we got in the other movies, in my opinion. And we got fucking Slade. He probably was too busy fighting Teen Titans, But and then we get this again, nightmare scene in a way with Joker, and Joker knows Bruce's fucking name. He knows, like, he still calls him Batman though, which I love. I fucking love, And Batman goes like, I'm gonna kill you and shit. I'm just like, what? And then Bruce wakes up and he's like, obviously that's not the whole thing, because in this, remember when they had a flashback when Cyborg and the spaceship of Superman, they both showed Cyborg what could happen if they brought Superman back. What they saw is that Lois Lane dies in Superman's arms and he joins Darkseid. Holy shit. Even Joker literally tells Batman, at least correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he tells him, even if it's a different dimension, you still have the opportunity to have people be dead, but you're still alive, basically. You would not die, And it's kind of funny because it's like, you could tell Batman's grieving that. He's like, the whole war has gone to shit and everything like that. And then Batman wakes up, Bruce wakes up, and it's all a bad dream and shit. And earlier you saw a character that acted like Clark Kent's mom, but it's not. And then you find out later it's actually freaking Martian, the Manhunter. And I'm like, yes, I knew it. Ugh. 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. I love this movie. This video is about to cut right now, but that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think about this movie. Everything that I wanted and more. Thank you. Watch this movie if you haven't.